The pattern's been pretty basic all week for me. It's a spinnerbait, contrary to what most people think. Crankbaits aren't my favorite, a spinnerbait is, even though I've certainly had plenty of success on deep divers and square bills all of my career. But this is my favorite way to fish, and I got on it the first day of practice about midday, and it's just, I love the way you fish. It's pretty easy, the lake's high. Fish want to be deep, but they're not leaving the bushes, so they're getting in the deepest bushes. The deepest bushes that are green, that have shade, has been my pattern. So if you can find a deep bush closer to the old shoreline, the closest one tends to be where the fish are. And I'm fishing a 3/4 ounce trickster spinnerbait. The key is, spinnerbaits are spinnerbaits are spinnerbaits. The key is blade configuration, and this has that long drop blade on it, which I caught the biggest bass in the Bassmaster Classic that's ever been caught on a spinnerbait in the Classic at Toho, a 10-something. It's just a big bass bait. Willow leafs, everybody likes them, but they catch a lot of fish, but they're not really big bass blades. To make them a big bass blade, you've got to go up to number 6 or 7 willow leaf to get the same water displacement that this blade here gets. The problem with that is they're held to throw in the wind. This blade is smaller, it's about 4.5, but it displaces a lot of water, and thus that's what catches big fish. Over the years, everybody that really knows spinnerbaits knew the Colorado and the Indianas were the real baits to catch big fish. We don't really have any good spinnerbait fishermen left that I recognize. And the main thing they do not understand is what I just talked about there is blade configuration and the type of blade that you should be using if you really want to catch bigger fish. I designed this long drop blade about 8 years ago because I like a willow leaf. There's certain situations I like to fish them in, but because they're a numbers bait. I like them when you're burning it real fast. But I also like in Indiana. First Bassmaster Classic I won, I caught everything on a little square bill, Bagley honeybait, except my 5 biggest. And my 5 biggest came waking the 2 big Indiana bladed baits. So I actually just ended up designing the bait. Instead, I wouldn't have to make that decision. I just made a long Indiana, and I call it the long drop. It's kind of a cross between a long willow leaf and an Indiana, and so I get the best of both worlds.